black people. Tell it like it is. Just be honest, like the person said earlier. Be honest and keep it.
You realize he was in the event of.
All right, excuse me. We have a queue. Excuse me. Yes, I got you, Brad. Guys, we have a queue right now. If you want to be able to speak, I got you. But right now, please don't interrupt the stage. So next we have Go Poppy. Go Poppy is going to go. Then after Go Poppy, it is Ashley. Then after Ashley, it is Oh, sorry, my bad. Sorry, my phone's glitching too. So it's Go Poppy, Pure, Ashley, Louie. And then after Louie... No, I thought you were... No, let me look at the chat again. Shit, I'm gonna have to write this shit down because it's too many people in the chat and my phone is glitching.
That's that Android.
All right, well let go. While Go's talking, I'll just update it in the chat. Go ahead, Go.
Oh, you can put me in the queue too. This is Coco.
I got you. Go ahead, Gold. Are you there? Going once.
Yes,
Gold, are you there? Okay, go ahead.
Yeah. I think like again, and I hate to sound redundant. George Floyd was a criminal. He had a criminal record, and that's a matter of a public record, right? However, having a criminal record, and mind you, I lean more towards the right, but I also have a brain where I can think to myself, I don't play fucking Power Ranger team, right? George Floyd had a record. However, him having that record of multiple offenses isn't a rap sheet for a death sentence, right? Only a courtroom gets to decide a punishment, not a fucking knee on the neck. So, yes, while he had a criminal record doesn't erase humanity, right? It doesn't hand the police the right to play judge or jury or an executioner. Justice means due process, not a knee on the neck or not fucking street executions. Same thing with Charlie Kirk, right? Like, yeah, a lot of people didn't like Charlie Kirk, but guess what? There were tons of black people that loved Charlie Kirk. Charlie Kirk invited tons of black people to colleges to speak. I was literally just watching him do a video where tons of black people were praising him at the conference, and they were praising him in the comments after his death. So you can't control what people are going to think. You can't control what people are going to like at the end of the day. Now, on both sides, to where I forgot what Shorty's name was with the edges. I don't know. I think she left. But to her, what she says is disgusting. No, not Dawn. The other chick with the long ass hair. That was weird. I think Jazzy. She left. She's out here. No, not Louie. I don't know. What's the girl that was just here that was like rest in piss? Charlie Kirk. That's what she just said.
Oh, concrete. That was concrete.
No, that's the man. Don't worry about it.
No,
that was a woman. Her name was like horrendous. She was racist. Yeah, heatheness. Yeah, what heatheness was saying.
Hold on one second. I'm gonna let you in. Eric, I need you to help me with the queue in the chat because my phone is dead. All right.
You did skip through it.
Make sure you add Simon. Make sure you add Brad and who else wanted to speak?
Oh, me.
Who is me?
Guy down here.
Oh,
you gotta say my name. You gotta say for my profile name.
Coco, make sure you get Coco in there as well.
I just want to say, you did skip here. She have to go up to go.
Yeah, she want to go up to go.
Put my name in the
Add Fagoo Raptor.
I am going to start. It's a large stage and it's a large queue. I'm just going to drop people. Y'all keep over talking. Go ahead, Go. Then have to go to speak.
Yeah, start off with that bitch that you're rich.
Yeah, so I just want to hit some facts. I'm going to start off with acknowledging the facts. So, yes, George Floyd had a criminal record. Charlie Kirk said controversial things, but here's what matters. What matters is neither of those things. Because death doesn't justify that happening to anyone, right? Now let's hit the core principle of it. In a civilized society, punishments come from courts. They don't come from knees. They don't come from a nigga with a 200 fucking yard shot with a sniper rifle on top of a school, right? So if we excuse death because we dislike someone's past or we dislike someone's politics, then we've just completely abandoned justice for vengeance, right? And if George Floyd's past justifies his death, right, then do we say that every addict or every fucking petty criminal deserves execution? And if Charlie Kirk's words justify his death, do we say free speech ends with a fucking funeral, right? So if the answer is no, then that means that both deaths are wrong. Justice means defending life, even when we don't like the person. Because once you say some lives don't deserve protection, then you open up the door for no one to be safe.
That's what Charlie did.
So just please interrupt me. Fix your edges first before you talk to me. Thank you. Before we even get into that, and yeah, if Charlie said some shit, then he's wrong. I don't give a fuck if it's Charlie. I lean more towards the right. You think I'm here to ride niggas' dicks? I don't give a fuck what Charlie said. If Charlie said something's wrong, I personally say to that nigga's face, you are wrong. I don't care. When he was talking about that whole agenda of like, yeah, you know, if a woman gets raped, she should keep the baby. I thought that nigga was crazy for saying that. I thought he was bugged the fuck out. I was like, yo, yes, I like Charlie Kirk, but you're wrong. So niggas need to realize just because niggas rock on one side, they rock on the left or they rock on the right, doesn't mean that I'm going to sit here and condone what somebody said because they wear a fucking MAGA hat and because I agree with 90% of what they said. He could have said 90% of the greatest shit of all time that I agree with. If the 10% of what he said I didn't agree with, I'm not going to agree with it. I'm not a dick rider. That's one thing I am not, for sure. So whether it's left or whether it's right, a lot of you niggas want to be wrong and strong, and you can't be both. You can't be both wrong and strong. You gotta either pick a side. Like niggas like to debate, but they don't back down and be like, you know what? Yeah, you got it. I might be wrong for that. I might be bucking for. Like niggas want to stick so hard and ride on their own dick of what their own opinion is that it's just like this narcissistic attitude. Like, nigga, you're not going to be right about everything, and you're not going to be wrong about everything. Sometimes you win some, sometimes you lose some, but when you do lose some, you have to be humble enough to look at things objectively. And what? Actually, I might be bugging for that. Let me take a step back and look at things objectively. But no, a lot of it to use your emotion, you use your anger to refute your logic when it doesn't make sense. Take a step back. Calm down, go take a fucking walk around the block, get a chopped cheese in Arizona, smoke a blunt, and then come to your senses and realize what the fuck that you're actually saying on this app. George Floyd didn't deserve to die. Charlie Kirk didn't deserve to die. Whether you agree with both of them niggas, whether one was a criminal or one was a nigga that was outspoken, it don't fucking matter at the end of the day. The nigga didn't deserve to get shot in the neck. He had a family. And another nigga didn't deserve to have his knee on his neck. Both of those niggas died from neck incidents, and they didn't deserve that, point blank, period. And I don't care what anybody else says at the end of the day. That's my fucking point.
Hello, my name's George Kitover. Welcome to Politics.
Especially the different.
Here's Karen.
Right, and I thought she was a story as well.
I believe that people have a right to feel however they feel.
Yeah.
About who.
The crisis, but the high deficits
As
cuts
you were
the hard
feeling,
crisis.
Well, the deficits create the national debt.
I'm
The
finding
crisis, but
that
the high deficits.
a lot of people have instead of consulting with the God in them, have made themselves God and made them the arbiter of who should die and who should live. It's almost making me feel like we're back in the days of Caesar, whereby watching somebody die was a form of entertainment. Have we become so callous to the value of human life that we don't see the value anymore? Now, I'm not to be totally transparent. I'm not mourning Charlie, nor am I celebrating his death. I'm not celebrating his life either. I think he said some rather
The
abhorrent
crisis,
things
but the high
that I
deficits
don't
cuts
agree
the
with.
hard crisis.
Well, the deficits create the national
I'm
debt.
not
It just keeps.
celebrating the fact that he was shot. Both Charlie and George had value to their life. What I'm wondering now, do you think there is a way that we can have discussion that makes us reflect on the value of life, of our own lives, of how we're valuable in the world, and can we make their lives mean something? Whether you feel like it's the worst of the worst or the best of the best. Are these people who are just, dying in vain and their reputations are in a dirty alley somewhere. Because I've found, this person deserves to be in hell, that person deserves to be in hell. And the only person who really gets to say who deserves to be where is God. And last I checked, none of us were that. Because if I were God, there'd be a whole lot of people here and then probably a whole lot of people not here.
It's a declaration
So yeah,
of unity
I
and love,
would just
respect, and it
implore you
means
at
a lot.
some
And
point
it's something
during
that's
this conversation where everybody has the right to feel the way they feel and has the right to voice themselves feeling the way they feel. If we can eke out some value for the world regarding both of us, I land.
Thank you for that, pure Eric. Who's next in the queue, darling? Even though you're really not a darling, but who's next?
Give me a second. I got you. It is Louis.
Did I again?
No,
You're absolutely
I was after Pure.
Yeah.
No, I was after Pure.
Yeah, I'm about to move around. But go ahead.
all right. Go ahead. He's allowing Ashley to go, so go ahead, Ashley, and then go ahead.
Jesus Christ.
It's Louis.
Ashley, which one you want? You want to go first, or you want to go after Louis?
Go ahead. No, go ahead, Louis.
Man, y'all being real petty right now, bro.
Can you hear me? Go ahead.
Is Louis there? Louis, you there, love?
I didn't get it. Go ahead, ladies first.
Go ahead, Ash.
Actually,
Let's roll.
Okay, I'll go ahead. I just wanted, I shared it in the chat, but I saw something and it kind of, I have been wondering why this bothered me so much, right? So, I saw a TikTok and it said in 2020 found out who would be okay with killing a president. In 2025, I found out who would be okay with
all
killing.
kind of wizardry and witchcraft.
And it struck a chord with me, and I think a
hear-
lot of it right now
so,
from the
something
conservative
really
side
well
is
enough.
fear. Because we're seeing people justify and celebrate somebody's death. Something that a lot of us share.
Exactly.
Not all,
Once
but
they
a
want to
lot
come
of
out and
us
said,
use as.
I have that idea.
And I think
God is a
that's,
woman.
that's
That
the
might
truth,
not have
and
gone over
that's the
so well.
underlying matter. It's fear. And I think a lot of people discount that. And not a lot of people are speaking up about that.
Follow? Now this is interesting, and you must understand.
So was that it?
I landed.
Or, yeah, I mean, another a nothing emotional talking point. No one wants to kill you. You guys fight about the guy and you keep
George Washington, and of
pushing
course,
out the
Declaration of
crybaby, the left
Crisis,
is
but the high deficits constantly are a crisis.
ideology that keeps pushing people towards radicalism. I appreciate submissions like Pure's and Gold's that are pretty balanced, and they're saying, hey, this is fuck shit on both sides. That's what I think we should all be saying. But there are people who are unhinged, who aren't saying that, who are forcing people to bow down or forcing sympathy out of people. No one owes anyone sympathy. If you thought George Floyd lived a deplorable life, you don't have to mourn his death. If you feel like Charlie Kirk lived a life speaking about deplorable thing and espousing deplorable ideas, you don't have to mourn his death, but we could all come to some sort of midpoint and say, yeah, it was fucked up that they were killed the way they did, the way that they were. But I don't think we can have that conversation when we have people trying to pull on emotional heartstrings, pushing this idea that the left's the enemy or the right's the enemy, or it's just you're all falling into it. If you're not saying anything other than let's pull it back and figure out where we've lost the point to where we hate each other so much to where we'll kill each other for our views, then you're not adding anything productive to the sphere. If you're forcing people or saying you must cry for Charlie Kirk, you're adding nothing to the political conversation. All that shit is just like, it's just like fucking like emotional.
I don't think you understand.
Emotional jerking off. What are people asking?
I don't think. Well, I think you fundamentally.
I've got one camera.
No. Let me just humor him for 1 second.
No, that's not fair.
No, why so?
It's not fair. You gotta keep going.
Alright, well, this is, that's pretty much it. Like, just like we have to all pull it back and like be real with ourselves and stop fucking this emotional jacking off, like forcing people to feel bad about it. No, everything has happened. And like, where are we going from here? Are we going to continue down the road that we've been going this far, or are we gonna like pull it back? And it seems like you guys on that side don't want to pull it back. That's the reality of it. That's what I hear whenever you guys fucking open your mouth to make a submission. It's more tension, more them versus us, more division. But go.
Alright, from the looks of it, is Simon going next?
Yes.
Okay, go ahead, Simon.
So just to address Amin's point, like nobody is demanding anyone more Charlie Kirk's death. The values of America are pretty specific, and it's to abide by like basic, life requiring values like free speech. So the hope is that if we can't all come together as a nation to all be able to say that nobody should die as a result of a person doing like the most basic American values, like we're flabbergasted by people saying like this person deserves to die, or he or however they want to phrase it. The whole point is that Charlie Kirk did American things. If you could disagree, I agree with almost everything he said. It's a travesty, and comparing that to George Floyd, I think it's a massive perversion of like the events that actually ended up happening, regardless of how George Floyd died. Like we can take it case by case, but he doesn't deserve to die. I think. So I mean, I don't think you understand what people are fundamentally saying about Charlie Kirk in terms of like the response that people are getting, and cancel culture is warranted for people who fundamentally disagree with the most basic values of America, because it's free speech. Nobody should die for just speaking.
Can I put in the queue?
Next.
I think it's dope. This Neds.
I think it's dope. Yeah, it's just all right. I feel like Ashley's point. I get Ashley's point, and I think Louis' response has some truth to it, but it does kind of whiff over some truth that it also needs to be acknowledged. Like, I think one, obviously not everybody on the left is celebrating Charlie Kirk's. People aren't, publicly at least, and that's a good thing. That should be expected. But the fact that not everyone celebrating doesn't mean that a large amount did. And when it comes to the discussion of free speech in particular, I know a lot of people were saying that the right are being hypocritical because they're happy to see a bunch of people on the left who celebrated Charlie Kirk's death get fired from their jobs. But is it crazy to think that why was there so many people? One question is, why were there so many people celebrating, posting on social media that they were happy this guy got killed? If we have nothing to worry about in regards to the environment and the temperature on the left, why was this so common? that it needed to be complained about by the left that people were getting fired. And two, does it not like worry people? I think if there was like a right-wing Groyper dude who shot and killed Hassan Piker, that's another left-wing dude, very notable. I think the fact that there would be right-wingers celebrating would be disgusting, and I wouldn't complain about them being canceled if they did get fired from their jobs, because I don't think that's the same thing as cancel culture. Cancel culture is not the equivalent of you being fired by your job for doing disgusting things in public, i.e. like dancing on someone's grave. And we can't act like that's just like, nobody's done it, because I've been on this app, bro. Like, literally people do it in every room I go to. At least one person goes in these rooms and says they're happy he got shot and killed. That was Heathenist, right? The dude with the wig on who just left, I think. So he did that in this room. So it's not like completely, we can't act as if like, oh, no one's actually doing this. People are doing it. And people on the right would probably do it too if it was the other way around. And that's a problem. And I do agree that Louis said we do need to figure out a way to basically cool down the temperature in general. But that doesn't mean we have to ignore the fact that people genuinely think this way. Acting as if calling them out is a bad thing. It's not. It needs to be done.
Yeah, I find this, we're going to go into this emotional response and then give us the pirate another emotional response. So let's remove the hyperbolic. So, I don't know, for the last, since Trump came down the escalator in 2016, conservatives were kind of having their internal dynamic. We had our own Revolutionary War internally, or our own civil war, if you will. Trump won out, MAGA won out over it. There was a lot of divisions. There was a lot of hurt feelings in there. Conservatives, Republicans, MAGA all came together, Libertarians. We all sat down and said, well, what is the best for our party going forward? We don't all agree. And we kind of said, all right, we'll stand behind Trump. Trump got up there and he did some good things. Whether it was at 100%, no one ever looks at that. But then, the pandemic happened, and we started to see a shift in our group. We were told we were authoritarian, so conservatives sat back, Republicans sat back. MAGA was the one saying, no, we need to fight. And people were like, no, we just need to relax because the left is upset again, and we don't want to hurt their feelings. The left went on and exploded. They fired nurses and doctors for questioning the efficacy and the protocols that were in place for the pandemic. Newspaper reporters were fired. New York Times reporters were fired for questioning politics or questioning anything that was outside the norms of the left. We watched shows, Hollywood stars, music individuals get fucking crushed and canceled by the left. We saw a Me Too movement that rose out, fucking lied on a bunch of shit, and then fizzle out, canceling a lot of people on the left. Oddly enough, that fucking goes running in New York City has a shot to actually win it, which is fucking wild to me in its own right. But this is the rhetoric. And again, it was always there. We went through and watched them, parents in Virginia as domestic terrorists sit there and look at a religious group and send police to a Jewish ceremony at a synagogue and have them arrested, and watch de Blasio fucking put that on CNN Live. We watched, Ray, and various other entities under the past administration, under the left, sit there and call out and say, hey, the most dangerous thing is a Catholic fucking person in America. So we're going to just brand a whole fucking group of religious as terrorists. But then, and everybody accepts it, particularly went fucking nuts. And then when people said, Christians on the right said, hey, this shit in Detroit right now where you have a Islamic mayor saying we're going to rename Main Street Osama bin Laden Avenue after a Hamas fucking proponent and terrorist and advocate, non-American. We're going to rename that street. And the people of that town say, we don't want this. The mayor turns around and says, well, the greatest thing will be when you leave our town, we'll throw a parade so you can get out. And basically told citizens that put him in power to get the fuck out of his town because he wanted to name it Osama bin Laden Avenue. This is the weird shit of the left. And you keep hearing this over and over again. And then they want to throw it on you and say, here, And I encourage conservatives, fight back. At this point, what more do you have to lose? There's nothing. There's really nothing to argue with these people. There's no point in asking for bipartisanship. There are people that, you know, who is that one guy? Where is he? Whatever his name is. He asked, like, oh, we can discern and make for yourself. You can. In seriousness, you can. But you can't with the majority of what's going on in the left. You can't do it with the majority of the rhetoric. You had Chuck Schumer threaten a fucking Supreme Court justice, actually have to have police come out, arrest somebody who is going to commit said act, and then turn around and say, oh, it's not me, it's the right that's the political terrorist. They take BLM that occurred all across the nation in one fucking year, a summer of love, and they count it as one event. Not counting the fact that David Dorn had to fucking die and bleed out while his family watched it live during fucking a political protest. But they don't count that as violence. No. They give you these fake made-up stats based on the ADL and whatever fucking twat waffle agency on the left is trying to construe these stats in a way saying the right is more prolific. We didn't go to a baseball game and shoot up your fucking Democrat leaders. We didn't go to your justices and try to beat them. We didn't fucking blow up your fucking areas or firebomb them like you did in North Carolina. We didn't fucking do half of the shit. All you got is January 6th. And oddly enough, that wasn't even made up of all fucking Republicans. That's the weird fucking part. You guys don't even know anything about what happened. It was a Republican. I got it. And
just like him land.
And the Nancy Pelosi thing. Like you throw that one up there. Who fucking cares? That was some fucking crazed medicine. And again, it goes to show you that your mental health policies and your bail reform policies don't fucking work. You let a guy out who attacked Nancy Pelosi. Fucking clearly evident. You want to throw the Minnesota senators next? That was a guy in the government set up by a Democrat rule. That was your guy. That had nothing to do with us. He had no King's protest. He was anti-fucking Trump. But somehow he's ours. It's right-wing protest. When we look at these facts, all we can say is when you sat down at the table and you handed them the opportunity to speak, they shot the motherfucker that was willing to do it for nothing more than his words. They cheer about it, they emulate it, and then they're crying because they're now facing the wrath that conservatives, A, don't want to bridge the gap anymore, and B, conservatives are calling their company saying, you know what, this asshat is preaching this asshat's doing this, fire them. And they didn't realize the depth at which conservatives actually had. You should have remembered Bud fucking Light and some other things, but you forgot that shit. Now conservatives are coming after you, and they're not holding back. They're not being restrained. They don't care anymore. They're telling their principals, fuck it, we're on now. Because you had not controlled yourself, and you did enough to bring them to this point. And other people like me are just going to cheer them on, grab the popcorn, and sit down and have a nice pint of Guinness and watch this shit show unfold. Because you never listened to people in the beginning of this shit when we warned you and said, shut the fuck up, sit down, you're going to cause a problem. And you never fucking listened. So now we're here today. You own it, you get it, you keep it, you swallow it like you like it, bitch. And then you fucking beg some more.
Okay, Gary, it's on air. Yeah, that was wild. Yeah, we finished there a little bit, kind of.
Like a rubber game.
Yeah, anyway, loud.
That was another conversation.
Don't interrupt me now. You didn't interrupt him. Done. Stop spamming. You guys to come back up. You got 5 minutes, bro. You were warned multiple times not to interrupt. Control yourself, son. And where I began, bro, it's like so much of that. First, I'm gonna say, go if you still here, bro. Leave my man alone. He don't want you. He wants me. So we out there. Shout out to Carolyn for doing a good job.
Hey, yo.
I also want to acknowledge that she called me a sweetheart. Just not registered.
That was an accident.
I'm holding on to it.
Freudian.
Yeah. Holding on to that. She did a good job holding you niggas. She kept you on check. I ain't never seen, this is very rare for a mod to be able to control a bunch of rowdy, autistic niggas. And she did it by herself. So you gotta give her that. And this conversation.
Make sure you tell Nathan that too.
Yeah, I will in the mod meeting. I definitely will tell him that. Definitely will. I'll put your hat in the ring. And also Louis. But yeah, this conversation, bro. I don't know what it is. I don't know if I give a reason. Like, if I don't talking about, I think I do actually. That's it. I just really don't give a fuck. I don't know. It's one of those. It's like overplayed, bro. A lot of you, everybody on both sides is annoying, bro. Like the niggas, niggas going down farms. Like people just can't help it, bro. People are going to die. That's just the grim reality of a real. Crazy people do crazy things, and unfortunately, people suffer from that. There's nothing you could do. Debate crying about whose fault it is really doesn't help, right? Because like nothing changed, bro. People have been dying over political rhetoric since like Abraham Lincoln, bro. Like the fuck, that nigga got killed because people didn't like what he was saying. It's like, bro, this is like all this like emotional appeals to like the wives and the type of man he was, and then we go back to George Floyd and January 6th and BLM, bro. Like this is nonsense, bro. We gotta look to the future, bro. We gotta like talk about new shit. Like, what do you think the economy's gonna look like in 5 years? You think like people are gonna get like better wages, or like are we gonna still be a country? Like that's what we need to be talking about. Like we talking about shit that really don't like impact people's lives. Like, you know, you need to be talking about like gas prices, housing prices. Like, do you think your kids would afford a house? They didn't be able to go to college.
No,
like everybody
just all down.
Yeah. And we in here debating Charlie Kirk. Charlie Kirk is not that important, bro. Not. I just hate to break it to some of you. You may hold him like his like white Jesus, but he's not that important. Like in the grand scheme of things, people are going to forget Charlie Kirk. And about, I'll say about 5 years, they're not even going to remember Charlie Kirk. He'll occasionally come up in like a political conversation, but other than that, it's not going to be an MLK or like some JFK or something. He's not at that level. He's not, disrespectfully. But I land there.
All right to that. Hello to the room. Sorry if I'm whispering right now. I just put my 2-year-old baby girl down for a nap, so I'm not trying to be too loud or anything. So, blessings to the room. Now, I witnessed a lot of things have been said in the room today, and unfortunately, oh my goodness, and of course he left, but my buddy Brad is not here to hear my voice. But I would definitely say that when it comes to extremism, there are extremists, of course, on both sides of the aisle. Now, before I say this, let me just say that, and I always say this, I'm neither Democrat nor Republican. I'm an American. Amen. I don't owe my loyalty to any party. I believe that parties owe all their loyalty to their voters. Amen. And so with that being said, I don't think that no one person should be a loyalist to any particular party, because that party may change and start to have ideologies or views that you personally may not agree with, and you may then change course in how you view things politically when it comes to your own political party. So with that being said, that's why I say that it is not healthy to be a loyalist and to think that any particular political party owns you. It's actually the reverse. Your party owes their loyalty to you, not the other way around. So with that being said, when extremism, of course, it is studied that a lot of the extremism when it comes to terrorism or domestic terrorism has come from the far right, and this has been for decades. Even when you talk about black city massacres, going just a mess, and you talk about black homes and cities being burned down when it was allowed to happen by its own state and federal government. When you talk about the assassination of, for example, Abraham Lincoln, the president that did abolish slavery. When you talk about the assassination of Robert F. Kennedy, you know, it goes to show that these mistreatment practices that's been done